What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're diving back on into Heroes Hour because the game just got a beefy update that added like 50 spells, a bunch of graphical updates, a whole bunch of new character portraits. Pretty solid, in all honesty, to be released while they're actually working on a DLC for this game as well simultaneously while also supporting the game with upgrades. And so that's hustle right there. That's what Hustla looks like. And so anyways, to encourage that hustler, I'm going to go ahead and cover the game one more time. If you've never seen Heroes Hour before, we covered about 9 months ago when it came out in 1.0. The game has had a number of improvements since then. I played the game for a couple hours prior to this video just to kind of try to catalog the way the game feels versus my previous conceptions about it, and there's definitely changes here. The game is what I remember with regards to the content, but it's different with regards to how the AI reacts, that's not even a word. Beact sounds like a book of the Bible. Be like, turn to Beacts 4:11 for the homily. Anyways, the game actually functions the same as it ever did, but there have been AI changes. There's kind of a different flow of gameplay now, which I think is actually superior to the previous builds, because AI rushes and things like that, and them instantly cheating and spawning armies, I think was one of those things that turned people off about the initial product. Heroes Hour is a strategy RPG kingdom builder. The best thing you can compare it to is something like Heroes of Might and Magic. The only difference is the battles in this are not turn-based. They are real-time, and you can cast spells to influence those battles. It's got an auto-battler bent to it where you're trying to choose a unit comp that has like a strategy basically to cut through the enemy, and I think the game is pretty good, and the Heroes of Might and Magic niche is not one that's really capitalized on too much. We're starting to see the fields be planted a little bit more. There's definitely been more Heroes-inspired stuff this year, but prior to that, it was just a wide-open, dead, salted field. And so anyways, the link for the game is down below in the description if you wanted to check it out. On top of that, you can also take a look down there for my Twitch stream and my Discord where I hang out live a couple days a week. I usually ping the Discord before I go on up there, so if you didn't want to miss a stream, that's the place to go. But let's go ahead and pick an army and pick a map and kind of pick a setup, and we'll play for the next 35 minutes. I'll probably go with, let's call it Land of Sorrows. That sounds like a cheery place. You do get to pick your army here, and there are a lot of armies, and they all have different strategies. Some armies are very, very heavily based on like expensive units that last forever and are really hard to kill. Some armies focus on lots of little tiny units that swarm and overwhelm. Some armies don't deal damage very much, but they've got tons of defense and they hold out, and you're meant to kind of bombard the enemy with spells and soften them up. And there are armies in all different flavors depending on what you want to play. You've got the high fantasy humans over here. You've got like a Chinese army over here where they've got like pandas with bamboo poles beating people to death and dragons. You've got the arcane faction, which is like genies and kind of like, I don't know, Arabian Nights inspired stuff. There's the Lament, which is like minotaurs and kind of eldritch creatures. There's the Tide, which is kind of like sea people, you know, hanging out laughing with the sea people. You got the Delirium, which is new. I've never actually seen them before, so honestly, I don't even know what the Delirium does. It looks like they're a bunch of warp spawn monsters. You've got the Enclave, they're lizard men. You've got dwarves. You've got orcs and kind of cyclopses. You've got druids and satyrs. You've got lots of choices in this game, like legitimately, and every single army has like probably 3 or 4 different strategies you can play around with depending on the leader that you choose. In this game, I have not played Order at all. I've tried to avoid it because when the game came out, I thought everybody was going to play Order, and in fact, that did not happen. Everybody went for the more interesting armies. So today we're going to play Order. Because I want to. Every faction has 6 leaders. It's usually like 3 warlords and like 3 casters, basically. These guys have different skill trees as they level up, so they will do different things from one another. That's where a lot of the replayability comes from in my experience, is that their armies, their spells, their abilities, their talents, their attributes, they develop in different directions. So like, for example, with Lonzo, he's got Diplomacy, which means that you can hire enemy units after you defeat them and add them into your army. It's pretty good for steamrolling. It's a good snowball perk. He's also got Rallying, which means that everybody gets damage and speed when they're near the leader. Your leader does fight in combat. Compare that with somebody like Fione, for example. She's got Blessing, which means every time she casts a spell, everybody gets their damage, speed, health boosted. And then she's got Aromancy. This lady over here has Healing, and she's got Blessing. Actually, I'll probably go with her. Basically, she's got a perk that means that when you lose units, they replenish after the combat, which is great, especially if you can stack it up with a medical tent. We'll leave it on the green. Actually, let's go purpley wurplies, dude. I'm feeling that the Grape Army is ready and here to destroy. I don't know. I feel attracted to the color purple right now, so that's what I'm going to do. Let's start the game on up. So here we are in our joyous little kingdom. We live in Elwyn Forest, apparently. The humans, they like it when it's all nice and green and meadowy. Inside of our army right now, we probably don't have a lot. The first thing I like to do is go to the town and just take a look at everything. Every single faction does have its own city, and based on the buildings you choose to build, they do get added to the map, and it develops over time. Every X amount of buildings that you build, your settlement will level up, and it will get a citywide perk that affects either your recruitment or your economy or your heroes or something like that. Oh, these guys have figured out irrigation. Look at that. They've got a poo pipe that goes into the river right there. Apparently they've got sewage disposal. That's an important thing. I don't want to live in a society that doesn't have sewage disposal. My dad grew up without running water, and so I was like, we can hire some militia over here. And so anyways, there we go. We got 29 militia added on in. The game follows a week-by-week pattern. So every single week you can recruit again, basically. But you've got what you've got for the week when you first start out. So be careful with how you use your army. Top left corner, we've got all of our resources. Bottom left, you've just got quick buttons to get around. Over here on the right, you've got the ability to, like, camp. You've got the ability to check your spell book. Right now, we've only got, like, a healing spell, which allows us to heal up our units if they're getting battered in the front line. Our army right now is mostly monks and stab guys. And so anyways, we probably want to work on that. This is the building menu. This is about how many buildings there are for every single faction. They're vaguely arranged the same way. There are a couple interesting things in here that are different for each faction, but by and large, it's like every faction has like 5 or 6 units. You upgrade them along a tier 1 to like tier 3 tree, and then there's 2 or 3 things sprinkled in here that really kind of, I think, amplify whatever's special about your faction. For right now, I think I'm going to take the halberdiers because they are flatly better than militia. Militia are just terrible. And so converting our militia into 29 halberdiers is going to help us get a little bit more oomph and a little bit more push as we go out into the world. For right now, we want to find challenges that we can actually accomplish in our currently diminished state. There are not a lot of things around here, but there is a treasure chest over here. I'm going to go get that. We can get a leather chest piece, which makes our creatures faster and gives us defense, or we can take 1,000 gold. I'm going to take the chest piece. There's a dead hero over here. You can use him to get XP or an item, I think. And then we'll pass our turn because we don't really have any movement left. The AI in this game has gone through considerable changes. The last time I played this game, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the AI really liked to bum rush you. I remember when I was showing this game off on Twitch, I told people that were new prospective players, like, you've got 2 weeks to prepare before the never-ending onslaught of enemy AI starts to hit you just non-stop. Just a absolute just cavalcade of enemies that are going to be coming through with other factions. Not the case anymore. It seems to give you a little bit more breathing room now to play around with. The AI will come after you, but they do seem to be a lot less aggressive about it. We could probably fight some demons. And we do need to capture that lumber camp so that we get like a nice trickle of wood. Like, it's hard to have a good time in the medieval world unless you can consistently get wood. So let's go ahead and try it. We may get stomped right here, but I'm going to do my best to kind of push this in the direction I want it to go. Now, our soldier, or I guess our leader, is not really a battle guy. She hangs out in the back lines and kind of does her thing. Is this a heal or is this a regenerate? Okay, it's a heal. So I'm going to wait for the battle to get a little bit hot. And once I start to see myself take losses, we'll throw out some heals just to keep people nice and stacked up. You do get a synopsis up here at the top of the screen that lets you know how you're doing. We appear to be winning for the moment, but I don't have any summons that I could pull in to get in behind their archers and like raise some hell. So unfortunately, that's why we're going to take a little bit of attrition. You can speed the combat up if you want. You do have control over these regiments. If I click and drag kind of mobile game style, they will change their target and go attack other things. Please don't lose a monk, dude. I can't lose a monk right now. Monks are too valuable, and I can't replace them. Okay, we won. Good. The enemy routed. The combat results. We get 1,100 XP, and we get a lumberyard. With that, we're going to level up, and it looks like we automatically got some better spell casting, so that's really nice. We can either get Blessing, which allows, well, we can upgrade Blessings. So this tree right here, I think a lot of new players don't realize, you can upgrade each of these tiles, like, multiple times. I've noticed in watching other people play that they kind of just move down the tree to get the things that they want, but you can click on these right here, and they will upgrade to, like, higher level, and they will become better. And so anyways, just something to keep an eye on while you're playing the game. I think Recruits monks over time and makes the monk and its upgrades stronger. I'll probably take that guy right there because there's nothing like free. I like everything that's free-fitty. We got a little bit of wood right there. We captured the lumber mill. And I think that's our turn for right now. So let's go ahead and wait it on out and see how things go in the magical Golden Kingdom. We've got some mercury over here. That's good. Nothing like, you know, what I like to do is I like to take my chicken nuggets and I like to dip them in the mercury. I find that it adds just a nice sort of piquant vibe. Just it makes the chicken nugget go down easier in my experience. Probably not good for me, but then again, dude, I'm eating chicken nuggets. Are we really worried about the healthful effects right now of what it is that we're doing? Oh, that fight is skit. Well, it's just range, guys. Let's do it, dude. I fear nothing. I have the power of one spell, and nothing can stop me. All right, boys, get on in there. Get on in there and raise some hell. Let's get these demons out of our territory. Wow, we're getting peppered pretty good right now. Yeah, we'll throw out the heal a little early. I don't want to get too wild and crazy, but this is a melee versus range fight, so I think once we make base contact, we should start to push them back pretty hard. And as you can see, yeah, their numbers are beginning to dwindle. They're getting hurt. They're feeling bad, and that's good. They should feel bad. They're demons. They get off on the torment of others. I want them to feel bad. That's an unacceptable thing in life. That tends to be associated with kind of psychiatric difficulties. And so anyway, I'm gonna sweep them off the map real quick, let them know that, A, we don't like juggling. That's another thing that I outlawed almost instantly in my kingdom. Juggling? Unacceptable. Don't juggle in my kingdom. I had a bad experience as a child. And then other than that, demons. Demons is going to be the other half that I'm not a big fan of. We will take the sulfury treasure. This treasure is terrible and it smells like farts. All right, so let's see here. We got a emerald band, which gives us +1 to our knowledge. That's good. So our max mana is like through the roof right now. And we're regenerating 5 mana per turn, which is just like, whoo-wee, buddy. That's the good stuff. Let's keep on scouting our kingdom. At the beginning of the game, you are segmented off from all the other factions. There is usually no way. There are exceptions, but usually there's no way to make contact with another faction until you knock over like a big fortress that exists along the periphery of the kingdom, and they have to knock that over too to get to you. And I've noticed that the AI is kind of like hesitant to go after it. We've got a leather cap right there and an amulet of valor. I like the army-wide morale. Let's do that. We probably want to start heading back to the kingdom center because we can't recruit directly to our army. Oh, I haven't been upgrading my city, dude. Oh no, I got so busy talking to you guys that I forgot. You want to build a building every chance that you get. And so anyways, I'll build a building right there. No harm, no foul. We've got archers now coming on in. So that should help us out with some of these ranged comps that we're going up against. All right, a new week has begun. That's going to allow us to recruit a little bit more. Not as much as we would have been able to recruit if I was being smart about the way that I was playing the game. But we'll upgrade the fort, and we will go for a big, thick stack of halberdiers. And then let's see if we can get to town from here. We can get to town from here without running out of movement, so that's good. Let's go ahead and replenish our forces. I'm going to recruit the maximum amount of halberdiers, the maximum amount of archers. I will take those archers as well. So now we've got a little bit better of a troop stack. We could take over this ore mine, and we can also knock over this obelisk if we choose to do so. We could also knock over the dogs over there and get access to the brilliant orb. I don't know if I want to ponder the orb right now. Let's go ahead and we'll cut off to the right and see what we could do. I already built a building, right? I did already build a building, so we're good. But make sure, don't make the mistake that I just made. Make sure you build a building every single turn in the early game. It's going to affect your development if you don't. I will probably go for an upgraded armory. Just kind of make it so that I can get baseline troops at an acceptable rate. Like, get their growth up so that we can put together a big, thick stack. The armies here are no match for the might of your army. Okay, we'll just wipe them out then. So there you go. We'll auto-resolve it. The auto-resolve seems to be fine in this game. I don't hate the auto-resolve. I use it pretty aggressively. And it has never made me feel bad about myself or made me contemplate maybe throwing myself out a window. So that's good. Let's go ahead and we'll take Wisdom to get a free spell. So we can get Summon a Flame Juggler. We can get Mundanity. Okay. So it has their health, reduces their damage to 1/4, and makes them unable to cast spells. That's pretty nasty, actually. We've got Misfortune over here, so it lowers their luck. Okay, and so it has a chance to interrupt them. Or we've got Air Blast, which is just an attack. I'm going to go with Flame Jugglers because I found that summons are very strong in this game. Not because the units themselves are incredibly amazing, but instead because you can summon anywhere on the battlefield. And so the ability to hot drop or like lightning strike 15 units into the middle of the enemy's casters or into the middle of their archers can really, really blunt the spear when it comes to trying to get to them. I'll probably take Terramancy. That'll give me a free spell as well. I've already built my building for this turn. Let's look at the obelisk. What this does is every time you find an obelisk, it makes a clearer and clearer picture of where a treasure is buried. And the treasures tend to be pretty good. So anyways, hunting treasures, probably a worthwhile side thing to work on with your hero while building up at the beginning of the game and getting stronger. We found ruins. I will take, let's call it gold for right now. You can never have enough money. A couple more cheddar stacks, and then we'll see if we can knock over this dog pack over here too. We actually have to fight this one, so that means they're going to put up at least some kind of fight. That's good. We'll get our archers arranged, our healers maybe right there. Okay, looks good. Let's go ahead and get on in here. I'm going to salt the armor of my troops to make them stronger so that they can take more damage before they die. I am going to summon some jugglers behind their jugglers to distract them because I think that's where we're going to lose the majority of our units is just to like random haranguing via ranged guys. Heal everybody up real fast. We do want to lean on spells very, very heavily with this hero. We're a finger wiggly type. And so you're going to find that your army performs not quite as well as the warlords and whatnot unless you're casting spells. That's why this character has such aggressive mana regeneration. Now we got some wood there, and that's going to be the end of our turn. So we'll go ahead and wait it on out. I forgot to build again. God, I am a terrible person. Let's see what I've got here. I think I would like the counting house for more money income, and our house or in our town has evolved into a township. So we can get industrial smithy. That means the first aid and the ballista are free once we build the engineer. That's pretty good. We've got the center of Kismet. Everybody gets luck. We've got mithril armor, which gives us, I'm going to go with the industrial smithy, because if we build the workshop over here, what the first aid tent does is whenever your units die, they get added to a pool, and every X amount of time, the first aid tent revives some of them, which really helps take the attrition off some of the fights. It stops you from having dead time on your turns because your units come back, basically. That stacked in with the fact that she already resurrects some troops at the end of every combat can end up being pretty strong, in my opinion. We also want to grab this gold. We want to grab that gold right there. Make sure we got lots of cash coming on in. And then we will ponder the orb. Mages trek from far and wide to meditate near the marvelous crystal orb. Yeah, why wouldn't you? As one does. If I had a magical crystal near my house, I'd probably sit around it and like throat sing too. You may enter the arcane ritual, spending this day and tomorrow to turn your mana into better knowledge and spell power. I accept. We're not really doing anything right now. That's fine. Like, we're kind of just, like, cleaning up our map right now, so I'm not too concerned about... Oh, there's obelisk shards over there. What does this do? The Clay Tower. It allows you to fight a small band of creatures for an artifact and riches. Okay. I do like artifacts and or riches. Both of those things sound super rad to me, but we'll come back to it later. Now, let's grab this obelisk shard up here. Map is getting a little bit clearer. Grab that one right there. It's definitely gaining some clarity. We've got an easy fight right there, which gives us access to a learning stone. We've also got the ancient sphinx. I like riddles. Let's go answer a riddle, dude. I enjoy riddles. You can call me Bilbo Baggins because my riddle game on point. We riddle it out. Let's go ahead and we'll kind of like go for the top. See if we can wipe out their melee forces first. Give them a nice little buff. I've got no mana left because I spent it all getting permanent upgrades. So that's a little bit of a bummer. We'll probably just have to let this fight run its course and not spend too much mana. However, it does look like some of their upgraded wolves got around to the south over there, but our troops took care of it. That's nice. I do want to pick up the med tent about as soon as possible. We're just losing a little smattering of guys every single fight. And really, the key to this game is creating like one super stack that can run the entire map, and every unit we lose adds up over time. We've got another level up. So that's pretty cool. I would probably go for... Aeromancy is dope. Royalty decreases the cost of units, so I'll probably go with royalty first, just to make sure that we develop a solid economy where we're not depleting ourselves all the time. In the pursuit of more units, I forgot to build again. I don't know. I played this game, and I never missed a single turn of building when I was playing before. And now, it just goes to show you that when doing dialogue live over the top of video gameplay, it depletes your brain power. We'll get a new unit. We can get swordsmen, or we can get strong arms. I'll probably go with the swordmans. We will create the maximum amount of them to be a little garrison that protects our town. And we will answer the riddle of the Sphinx. The statue-like creature wakes as you approach, eyeing you over. With tectonic slowness, the jaw opens and a hypnotizing voice asks, I shave every day, but my beard stays the same. What am I? Definitely a barber. So we got 1,000 gold right there for answering the riddle. We actually seem to be fairly wealthy this time around. I got a lot of money to play with. That's not a complaint. I want to make that clear. We're not complaining about the fact that we are straight balling out. We got them Patek Philippe watches. You know, I'm going to let this one just kind of go naturally because I need to let my mana regenerate. My mana's kind of bad. And so anyways, as a caster, that worries me. I would rather not have bad mana. So I need to take a couple turns and let it regenerate until we've got a nice solid stack of that blue and twinkling stuff. I think we've got this one. Actually, without magical aid, we are actually losing guys. We're winning, but we lost a solid quarter of our melee guys right there. Some of them got rezzed, so that takes the sting off a little bit. I'll get some free XP over here at this shrine. I will more than likely level up Blessing so that I can level up Mastery, maybe? And then I can level up Royalty even further to make my troops even cheaper. These right here, these campfires, they give you a little bit of money and they restore some of your movement points in case you're wondering what those do. So I tend to save my campfires until I have like a turn where I really need to be productive. Let's go ahead and head back to the city. We'll revitalize. It's the beginning of the week. Maybe we'll walk those. Let's see here. This week's effect is that the goblin gorillas interrupt neutral battles. Man, these geneticists out here just really messing with the game. Why are you mixing gorillas with imps? It's just a bad choice. We got plenty of money, so I'll take the XP. Keep my hero leveling up a little bit. You can have multiple armies, in case you were wondering. So that's not a problem. You can have 3 or 4 armies walking around the field. I'll probably upgrade my blacksmith now so that I get the even better units. We will recruit our armies right now, so we'll max out on those dudes, max out on those dudes. We will upgrade the swordsmen we have on hand and then upgrade these guys. As you can see, that got really expensive. Like, we just spent half of our net worth making our army stronger, but I promise it's going to be worth it. Let's get on into town, and we will pull these guys on into our main retinue. These little crossbowmen need to be upgraded. There we go. Let's upgrade them too. Perfect. Their gun is a little bit more brownier, and so I think that probably makes them better. I already built on this turn, correct? All right. And this army right here should actually be capable of taking down some stacks. This army's pretty strong. So let's get rid of this roaming neutral mercenary army that we have in our territory because I don't like it. They've got flying units down here, so they're going to need the archers to help out. We'll give the healers to these guys in order to just kind of keep them stacked up too. We will go ahead and throw salty armor on these guys, get a little bit of that NACL going on. And we should be able to sweep these guys pretty quickly, I think. Apparently their hero is actually just bum rushing my archers, so I may have to summon a little bit more than I wanted to. Yeah, you guys need to kind of help out. Like, I need gunfire on their hero, like, right now. I didn't expect that valorous charge into the center of my ranks, but he did it. I respect it, but I didn't expect it. Let's go ahead and we will take Terramancy 2. That'll give us another earth spell. It looks like we got a spell called Hex. If I remember right, that converts everybody into frogs, which is pretty cool. We've got some gauntlets that give us a little bit better at call beasts. And then we also got an axe, which makes our character hit a little bit harder in combat. So that's all good. That's all good, good, good. I'll probably chill here by the town till the next turn, and there's a reason for that. The next building that I'm going to build is the Mage Tower. And you don't get the spells added to your spell book until you come back and visit the Mage Tower. And so there you go. We've got a bunch of randomized spells. The spells that you get, they are not preordained. You never quite know what you're going to get. But no matter what you got to get, you just use it the best you can in order to make things happen. We'll skip the outcome right there. Lost a Swordy Man's. That kind of sucks. What do we have going on here? So the tower has stood here since ages long past, erected and maintained by an army of magical constructs and demons that have survived their creator by centuries. You can take on part of their force to steal an artifact and some treasures from them. Yeah, I accept. Let's do it. Let's beat down the doors. Oh, it's a siege battle. That's pretty cool. All right, start her up. I'm going to go ahead. What spells do I have? Swift Retreat. Casting the spell makes your army flee, gives all your units speed boost, temporary protection, but it causes you to flee sooner than you would otherwise. Okay. Now, we've also got a Hex over here. Let's turn everybody into frogs. I would prefer to not get bombarded by ranged attacks this entire time. Is that my griffin right there? Oh, cool, dude. My little sword guys summon griffins. Hell yeah. The frogs, they are not very good fighters. That's what makes Hex an incredibly powerful spell. Turning them into frogs is actually, I think, for the rest of the battle. And so it's a game changer. If the enemy has some really nasty units, turn them into frogs, man. Frogs aren't known for their pugilistic skills. That's why there's never been a frog heavyweight champion. Here, we're going to take Royalty 2, since that's what we were working towards. That gets us up to like a 40% discount in creating units, which is good. Real good. So we've got some items here. We've got a Mandel's Insignia. Your demonology skill goes up. Okay, and it's part of a set, Diablo style, so if we have all of it, we can resummon all of our units as demons when they die in combat. Not bad. I don't know if I've ever collected a full set before, but hey. So over here, it looks like the treasure. There's a crystal mine. Okay, it's up north of us because there's the Sphinx right there. So there's a little tree on the corner. Actually, it's like right here. Yeah, the treasure's like right in this area. I can't say exactly where, but it's there. Let's go ahead and build something real fast. We've got plenty of money rattling around. Let's get our stronghold upgraded, and I'm going to make my stronghold increase the cap on the amount of swordsmen that I can have. From there, we need to work our way down to Crusaders. If I remember right, these Crusaders right here, at least they used to, they were like paladins. If I remember correctly, the upgraded version, they have a heal spell, like a heal AoE that they just spam, like all the time. It may have been balanced, but the last time I played this game, it was crazy overpowered. Like, it was a map-clearing ability. Like, once you had paladins, unless the enemy had something similarly obnoxious, they were just done for. Yeah, I think the treasure is, like, right here, I think. There we go. We found the treasure. The treasure hunts are not particularly difficult. Mandel's Scepter. Okay, apparently the power of Howie is with us, dude. We got that Howie power. All right, Bobby's World is now. Let's go ahead and see if we can upgrade anything. The Center of Order increases the amount of money that we make, so I'm happy with that. And as you can see, our city is getting more sophisticated looking. It's getting more sophisticated. And then we are out of movement points for the moment, but I need to actually take a look at her equipment and see what I can do here. So the spear is better than what she has, and she's already got Mandel's Insignia on. I don't think we really use demonology, so this would actually be much better for like the fire faction than it is for us, but that 3-piece bonus is pretty good if it stacks with our already native resurrection ability. So I'm going to try it out if we can find it. We will grab the Kroners over here. Oh my god, we got all 3 pieces. Okay. Don't really want the Amulet of Valor. I'll take the XP. Did she put on the cape? She did not put on the cape. There we go. So now we got the full 3-piece set bonus. We're looking pretty good. We should get that resurrection benefit now. Let's go beat up these apes over here. Oh, it's apes and bears. Okay, you know how it goes. In the real world, apes frequently cohabitate with bears. Just because it's a symbiotic relationship. Don't check that. I based that on a whole bunch of random biological facts that I personally made up. I'm going to convert their bears into frogs because I don't want to take a lot of casualties here today. Acid Splash. What does that one do? Salt Spray deals damage to enemies in a line from your hero. Deals 3 times damage to summon units and dispels magic. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's put some imps in the back, though. Yeah, we'll get some imps in the back. This game is absolute mayhem. I don't really have any complaints about it. I think it's a really good acquisition if you're into things like Heroes of Might and Magic, since, like I said, there's not a whole lot of those types of games coming out. It's a game that's got a tremendous amount of replayability. The developer focused on that when designing the game. They wanted, oh, demonology. Nice, dude. So everything that died came back as like, I can get 7 bats or I can get 3 ass demons. Okay, I'm going to get the fire stingers, but I lost XP for that. That hurts my soul. We may not be using demonology very much. There is apparently a catch to our power, and that catch is it cost me XP in order to use that ability. So like, ow, gross. We will go... I do think that being able to replace my monks is a good idea, but I do like the Griffin Tower as well. Actually, let's get Infirmary. What Infirmary does is it makes it so whenever one of our units dies, it has a percentage chance to resurrect back in town, and then we can just go pick it up back later. I find that when you're playing as this faction right here, it's a really, really good idea to capitalize on that circularity, because this faction relies very, very heavily on the fact that their units come back. And so leaning into that tends to be a good way to play them. We've got a mercury mine over there. We've got a sulfur mine over there. Let's go get the mercury mine. Sure. Oh, it's not an auto-resolve. Okay, nice. We'll put you guys down here. Throw some bats out there since they're summoned units anyways. I don't really care about their safety. These guys are going to dive on in, so we'll get some salt armor rocking just to maybe lower our casualties by 1 or 2. We do seem to be getting the lion's share of the murder right now. We've lost a couple units, but they've lost more than a couple. And those griffins that we're summoning on in are really blunting the charge, too. I got to get more swordsmen. These paragons are really good. Like, they basically give me free units that don't cost me any mana. They don't cost me any input. They just flatly make my army stronger. And as a side effect, they also create a unit that soaks damage, so other units that can't be replaced are not soaking that damage. I will probably go... Oh, I don't know where I want to go from here. Let's go healing 3. That sounds spicy. A 60% chance for my units to be resurrected. I like that. And then for now, we got to build a building, but the video is getting a little bit long in the tooth. Trust me when I say this is a good acquisition as far as it goes for Heroes of Might and Magic style games. I think you will like this title if you are into games like that. This is a game that I've spent a whole bunch of time playing. I think like 20 hours or so when it came out. Just binge played it and then just kind of waited for balance fixes, and now checking in on the game about 9 months later. I do think that some serious balancing has been done here, both with regards to the way that the AI behaves and also unit balancing seems to have taken like a very, very big focus. I don't feel like there's quite as many things in this current build that are so ridiculously OP that once you get them, you basically just crap thunder on the map. There are still strong units, and there are still reasons to upgrade your units, but there doesn't feel like there's like I win buttons right now in this current build. I could be wrong. I only played for a couple hours prior to the recording of this video to refresh my memory and get back into the swing of things. But from my observation so far, having had a game run about 2-3 hours where I was already clashing with other factions and whatnot, things felt a lot more even. Especially with the way that the AI behaves, which was actually, I think, my biggest complaint about the game when it first came out, was that the AI just bum-rushed you. The second they could, they just bum-rushed you. And it made the whole game feel a little bit more high velocity than I think it needed to feel. And it feels to me like that's been fixed at this juncture. The game is much more easy to play at your own pace while still providing some challenge there. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you do not have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were doing a 9-month checkup on Heroes Hour, which I think is a really, really cool game, especially as a fan of Heroes of Might and Magic. I'll be back tomorrow with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet, but up until then, it's time for me to go. Catch y'all later, folks. Bye-bye.